Welcome back, everyone. So today we're going to be talking about Harley Davidson and their first ever electric motorcycle and their fastest motorcycle as well.
I mean,
That's
it's
not
a Harley. It's
yeah.
exactly not too.
That's not a surprise.
Well, anyway, this motorcycle was brought to us, the concept was brought to us in 2014, and many people thought that this would never happen, that it was a joke. Come on, Harley Davidson would never release an electric motorcycle. Well, recently they proved everyone wrong, and they released it. Now, here's a photo of it. To me, all things considered, it doesn't look awful. It's an electric,
No, it looks good.
It's an electric vehicle that doesn't look like crap.
Right.
So, thumbs up, Harley Davidson. You did a good job on not making it look horrible.
Yeah, exactly.
This motorcycle was designed to appeal to young people like us for a lightweight urban transportation around town. So, it's okay. I would consider it.
Yeah.
Considering all other motorcycles, it looks on par, I would think. Now, the specs of this are way different than an average sport bike that you're going to find at Honda or Yamaha. It has 105 horsepower, right, which doesn't sound like a lot because we talk about cars a lot on this show, but it has the top speed of 110 miles per hour.
Wow.
So that's pretty good. It has 86 pound-feet of torque. So all of this is an electric motorcycle, so it has high specs. It weighs 595 pounds, which is median, or excuse me,
average.
49 pounds, 549 pounds. So it's an average weight for a motorcycle. Much, depending on the motorcycle you buy, can be much faster though. But the distance is also really good because it can go 146 miles driving around town.
That's pretty good.
That is really good. It can go 95 miles on highway and around town, which is also fairly good. And here's another thing. It goes from 0 to 80% charge in 40 minutes.
It's stupid.
Yeah, 80 miles, you said, if you're on the
Okay.
freeway.
Okay,
95.
And you have to stop.
95.
And you have to stop to recharge
My guy.
for 40 minutes.
my guy. Most motorcycles make about 80 to 90 miles per gallon. I know. I drive one. I know. My dad drives one. You know. You drive one. An average motorcycle gas tank holds about 3 gallons. So if you're getting 80 miles a gallon, you could go 3 times the distance almost as that,
It's the
and then fill up in 5 minutes.
Okay, yes, you are correct. But it's not designed for that. It's an urban rider. It's designed to take you from your house to school.
I
So-
do that in my motorcycle, and I fill my gas tank once a month.
If you could do that and you go from your house to school, what's the point of having the fastest Harley Davidson if you're driving in the city?
So when you and your buddies go out drag racing, you can win.
And you have to stop for 40 minutes.
I don't know about you, but I don't drag race. But if I was to drag race, it would not be a 95-mile drag race.
Yes, that's true.
It would be a quarter mile at most.
So is that the type of people who are going to buy this?
Yes, drag racing.
now
is on
we
there.
see the target market.
Yeah.
No. But seriously, it's not that bad. I like it. Personally, I think it's pretty cool. It's the first of its kind.
Should
Well,
it be
actually, that's
Harley
not
who's
true,
making it though?
Yes, because they are basically the people to introduce motorcycles to the United States. So they're like our founding father of motorcycles,
I
really.
think
So
they're not the only ones doing this right now. There are other companies that are doing it, but they are one of the largest. They are the first. I think what they said is they're the first large company to put this on the market for you to buy, which you can now buy. It should be rolling out into your dealerships soon. So that's pretty cool.
what's the price on this?
That's a good question. I'm going to Google that right now. I was going to do this before we started filming. Can you cut all this out?
No.
All right, I found the price. It is $29,799.
Yikes.
Starting price.
Okay, I could buy.
So young people
Wait,
might be a little bit of a stretch here because
Yeah.
I don't know if I could swing $29,000.
for a bike. No. Sorry, not interested.
I mean, when I think about buying a motorcycle, I think about buying it for the fact that it's cheaper than a car.
Not
Yes.
twice the price of a 2017 Toyota Corolla.
Right.
Right. But if you are loaded and you want to buy something that's fast, but you don't have the money for, I don't know, a $50,000 car, you can buy a $29,000
That's like the base
Harley.
price of a EcoBoost Mustang.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So, Mustang,
But you don't want a Mustang.
battery-powered toy bike.
You don't want to get the base Mustang. I love the look of it.
Hey, this isn't.
But it has a 4-cylinder.
This isn't a Mustang
Episode.
episode.
No.
I'm sorry, I keep bringing it back.
Well, I think we pretty much answered the question, but would you buy one?
No, absolutely not.
If you gave me the money to buy one, yes, I would buy one.
I would not either.
Well, in other news, I am going to talk about a motorcycle that is better.
Oh, yeah? What's
Yeah.
that?
So, we've mentioned Royal Enfield before on the show, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, Royal Enfield, British motorcycle company, was founded in 1901. And they made a lot of classic motorcycles through the 60s in the heyday of British motorcycling. And then they went bankrupt and started their business in India,
Fail.
where they become a gigantic motorcycle producer. And recently, they've started becoming kind of big in the U.S. especially. They're starting to, their market is starting to grow. And last year, or earlier this year, sorry, it's not 2020 yet. Earlier this year, they released a trials version of the 500cc Bullet motorcycle that they produce. Now, for those of you who do not know, in the 60s, trials is different than what we think of it now. Back then, it was you take a essentially stock motorcycle and see what it can do compared to other brands. It was like the Le Mans of motorcycles.
Right.
These manufacturers went up against each other and said, okay, my motorcycle can go over these rocks more than yours can.
Right.
And some of these rides would last 6 days.
Wow.
The international 6-day trials happened every year in another European country. And so now, last year, they released a...
This year.
Or did it again. This year they released a replica
Right.
of the trials bike they made starting in 1948 off of the Bullet motorcycle.
Wow.
Now, I think it looks really cool. And the big news is it wasn't available in the US until now.
Oh.
Yes.
So, is it really a trials bike though? No.
Right. It just looks
It's
like
just
one.
a really cool motorcycle.
Yeah.
It's a street bike. What I love about old motorcycles is that the fact that they just took regular motorcycles, took some stuff off, and then put dirt tires on it, took it out. I really love that.
Yeah.
And that looks really... I think that's... I'm going to say it. That's their best looking motorcycle.
Yes,
that
it
is
definitely
That is
is.
Royal Enfield's best looking motorcycle.
Now,
So how do I get one of these?
You can't.
yes, you can't. They're shipping 100 to the United States.
So I could.
You could.
Technically.
Technically.
Now, their MSRP, MSRP is $5,700, Mr. $30,000 motorcycle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I could swing that. I
Now,
could swing that.
because there's only 100 being shipped to the U.S., I imagine dealers are going to be like, yeah, it's 30,000. What are you going to do about it?
Can they do that though?
Yes, they can.
They can?
That's the reason Supras were being sold for like $100,000.
Yeah.
That sucks. That's their best looking motorcycle, and it's not coming. Well, not
It's
a
not
lot of
coming.
them are coming to the U.S. So, real quick, because I know they're listening, Royal Enfield, do me a huge favor and send a few more than just 100, because last I checked, the United States has a little more than 100 people.
Yeah.
And even the motorcycle riding community, believe it or not, is a little more than 100 here.
Yeah, that's true.
Just a little bit.
And
Just a
honestly,
little.
like, it's the exact same motorcycle as the Bullet. Same
Right.
engine, 27 horsepower.
Right.
Same cylinder, 500 cc's. It's the same price,
Right.
give or take $100.
And I would rather have the trials. It looks better. I mean, here's the Bullet. It looks great. Here's the trials, and it looks better. Some might say they look the same, but I disagree.
Now, would I recommend going off-roading in that? Absolutely not. I wouldn't.
Oh, hell yeah, I would do it. Oh, man, yeah. What you do is you get jeans, jack boots, and then just one of those helmets with the visor, no chin guard or
Right.
anything, no goggles, just some aviator sunglasses, a t-shirt, and you go out into the dunes and take that
Have
thing
some
for a
fun.
spin, yeah. No,
But there's only 100 of them.
there's only 100
So
of
it'd
them, so
probably
you can
be-
only break a few.
It'd probably be wiser to hang on to it.
And
Don't drive it at all. Keep it in your garage, right? And then in about 80 years, when you have more money than you know what to do with, and money doesn't matter anymore because you're about to die, then you sell it for a crap ton of money.
which is probably just as much as it was worth.
Yeah, exactly.
Just because of inflation.
Yeah.
Now, we're talking about.
But it's sad because you know that's what's going to happen, probably.
Yeah. But do you know, I'm curious, do you know why they're only doing 100? Is it a test run to see if people will buy them? Then they might ship more? Or do you think it's just, we've got 100 extra that people aren't buying over here in India, let's ship them to the US and see what happens?
It might be that it's not a popular motorcycle.
Mm.
It might be, I mean, they're not releasing or they're not selling enough. Because, I mean, it is like $200 more expensive. And they just released, also earlier this year, their new twin Interceptor and Continental series, which I don't know if they want to take sales away because it's $1,000 more.
Right.
And has more horsepower, it's faster, it's just a more modern motorcycle, even though it looks old.
I don't know. I personally think they should ship way more than 100 out.
Yeah, I'd buy one. I
do too.
I literally, the day they announced it, I was like looking up on the dealer websites.
Yeah.
Since there's 100, you should buy one anyway. You should go out there and be like,
hey, you could try. What is it?
100.
Do you know? Is it an application process? How are they deciding who gets to buy them?
The only place I heard about this was on Instagram because I followed them on Instagram.
Really?
Now,
And they just
So
said
no
that
one else has talked about it.
no.
Weird.
Yeah, it's just they said that check with your local dealers for information.
interesting.
Well,
And
I wonder
our
if they shipped any to
sadly, our
California.
local dealer doesn't have any of them listed. So
right.
I didn't know we had a local dealer for Royal Enfield.
I didn't either.
no, now you know.
Now you know.
There we go.
Well, with that, I think it's time for This Week in Europe.
They're cutting down trees, man. We need the trees. London air is not that great.
I mean, the streets are already the bike lane.
Exactly. The streets are the
And
bike lane.
cars are going to be banned in 11 years. Welcome to This Week in Europe. After a brief hiatus arguing with our union advisors about our contracts, we are back.
Are you getting paid?
This episode of This Week in Europe, we will be talking about a very European company.
This is so important. This is
BMW.
the most important news we've talked about.
And their ridiculous grill sizes of recent.
I cannot believe it. Specifically, what, the 7 Series?
Yes, it's specifically the 7 Series. The grill is gigantic. Thank you, Peter. Is that bacon?
Just for you, buddy.
They need to trim their mustache.
They
Come on.
need to trim the mustache.
Everybody trims their mustache. Everyone has to keep it orderly.
That
So
or-
so does BMW. That's my thought.
Right.
Let- Just to point this out, in case you don't really care about grills, because who does? Here's a slideshow of the BMW 3 Series since its inception. See, it's nice, fine there with the double headlights, and so on and so forth.
Okay. But they needed to start trimming it right about there.
Yes.
Yeah. And then, whoa. and it's funny, because the previous generation, or even like, whatever, 2 years ago, it didn't look this gigantic. And then this year, just...
You don't need that kind of air intake. You're not fooling anyone.
No.
No. You guys pump fake engine sounds into your car. You do not need the intake.
No, you don't. It kind of looks like when Joe comes in without shaving for a week into the show, you know? Yeah.
In other news,
I keep throwing to the left. I gotta work on my shot.
this is serious, Leo.
I'm sorry.
This is very serious.
I'm sorry, Andres. I didn't mean to offend you.
1 million cannibal ants have been unleashed from a nuclear bunker in Poland.
To be fair, it's that much.
And with that, we will see you next week.
So if they're eating each other, it goes down from 1 million really quickly, right?
I would think so.
So
That's true, actually. They'll just